Okay, everyone, we're going to be starting in a moment. It's just circulating on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp groups, and we'll see what we have. One moment.
We can talk, Bill.
Once in a while.
Okay. Okay, everyone. Different location than the Zionist Center. It's a little more upscale, maybe. Good to see everyone. Whoever comes, while this is going on, they'll come. So we're going to be talking about, as I give the information, anyone has a comment, wants to say something, no problem. It's informal. So there's a lot of problems going on. There's BDS organizations already said they're going to disrupt the Walk for Israel. Now, last year I was in Israel when the Walk for Israel took place, and BDS people came, grabbed Israeli flags from some Jews there who were walking, and they burnt the Israeli flags. And they threatened Jews, and they pushed Jews, and a lot of that was going on. There have been a number of BDS rallies recently. There was one, Al-Quds Day, downtown, where the director of Samadon, which is connected with the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine, and Israel has listed that organization as a terrorist organization. They have no problem having rallies here. And the director of Samadon, a complete head case, was going on advocating terrorism here in Toronto, praising terrorists, calling for the delisting of terrorist organizations that are on the list in Canada. Recently, today actually, she was interviewed. Her name is Charlotte Cates. She was interviewed on Press TV from Iran about this leader from the Islamic Jihad who went on a hunger strike. And this guy, there's video circulating on social media about this guy. They try and present this guy as a cute, cuddly, peaceful family man. And he was one of the leaders of the Palestinian Islamic Jihad, another organization listed by Canada as a terrorist organization. In a video, I'd like to show it here, but we can't show it right now, but it is on, I've shared it and it's all over the net. He calls for suicide bombings. He calls for body parts to be exploded all over the place. And she's interviewed on Press TV praising this guy as a wonderful guy and accusing Israel of assassinating him. Now, he went on a hunger strike. He refused food. listen, I'm all for all the leaders of Islamic Jihad and these terrorist organizations starving themselves to death and dying. The world would be a better place. And the world is a better place if this guy died also. But facts are facts. He was in an Israeli hospital. He was offered food. He refused. And you know what happens if you refuse to eat? I think the whole story anyways is convoluted also, because who could survive on a hunger strike for over 100 days anyways? You know, the IRA, one of their leaders years ago went on a hunger strike. I think he lasted, I don't even think, a month, and he died. And, you know, there was a lot of protests, a lot of rage, but that was a real hunger strike. Whether you agree with the IRA or anything like that, or what's going on in Ireland back then, put that aside. Just, you can't starve yourself for 100 days plus and expect to live. So, you know, there was a prisoner, there still is a prisoner, one of the Palestinian leaders who committed murder. He's in jail. He went on a hunger strike, and then they had cameras, hidden cameras. They show that he's eating candy bars and all types of things. But anyways, she is saying on Press TV, the official news station for Iran, for the regime in Iran, she's saying that Israel assassinated him, and you know, obviously we got to go after the Zionists, and that these organizations, the Islamic Jihad and Hamas and all of them, she's all for them. Her husband is Khalid Barakat. He's a leader in the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine. He spoke at the Al-Quds Day rally a couple of weeks ago. And he's praising terrorist organizations, praising missiles to be sent into Israel, and he gets away with it. All these BDS organizations are praising this Islamic Jihad leader that died from his hunger strike, that he's the next best thing to sliced bread. And they want to come to the community. Just about a week ago, there were some of these head cases that came to the Chabad Gate Plaza to harass Jewish shoppers and Jewish businesses there at the Chabad Gate Plaza. And we got to take this seriously. So what needs to happen is, number one, an increase in security there at the Walk for Israel. They're planning to come to, I believe where the walk finishes is going to be at the JCC by Shepherd and Bathurst, and that they want to have their disruption there. We have to keep them away from the JCC, and we have to take measures, and the community has to take measures, and we have to spread the word. So how do we do this? A few things, a few ways. Can't rely on the police. The Jewish community can't rely on the police. They're not arresting people who are attacking Jews, synagogues, threatening synagogues, going in front of synagogues and taking selfies and saying death to Israel and death to Zionists. They're not arresting them. So the community has to respond and take matters into their own hand. These BDS organizations have a history of throwing bottles and rocks at Jews, attacking Jews. So what needs to happen is that if people could come to the Walk for Israel and be prepared for that. So come like you're coming for a baseball game. Come with your glove and a bat. Why? Because you just want to catch the rock that they're throwing at you and the bottles that they're throwing, or you want to hit it away from you or protect somebody with it. I'm not saying anything else to do with it, but we have to do that. Also, it's essential if people could bring dogs there to protect our community. Not looking to attack anyone, just to protect the community. There needs to be dogs there because the police is probably going to allow the BDS to come as close as possible to the Jews coming to finish the walk at the JCC on Bathurst. So those are just a few steps that have to be taken. And again, we got to get, oh, one more point. And we can't lose sight of this. The success of Israel is is something that is a pill that the BDS hates to swallow. The success of Israel. So number one priority, that the walk is successful and money is raised for Israel and for Jewish institutions in Israel. And last year they raised significant money, and the year before and years before that. So that has to go on. But at the same time, the protection of the community is essential. And that has to be. So we could discuss that a little bit. Anyone has any thoughts on the matter? It's open. Go ahead.
So when you say BDS,
Yep.
in the past, the leader of some of these protests and antagonizations has been, I knew him as Faraz.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly his name. I forget his actual name. Is he behind the latest ones as well, including the one at the Budgate? I don't think he was there personally because he finally got arrested at one point.
Yeah, he's been arrested. Charges pending, weapons charges pending on him. He's not, I don't think he's the ringleader. No, he's one of the guys, but in fact, at the rallies, they really doesn't seem they want him as a speaker.
Right.
And so certain mosques have also spoken out against him and condemned him. So he's got a certain standing, but not a complete, and this is like a new generation. This,
He's maybe sending these people out instead of him doing it because he may become a liability for them. But maybe if he's still behind the scenes, that's what I'm wondering.
well, he's going to be there.
Oh, he is.
Yeah, he'll be there.
As usual.
Yeah, he in fact announced it that he's going to be there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, everything has to be documented. Another thing too, when I say everything has to be documented, we need the faces of everyone from the BDS who is showing up. We need to identify these people. We need to have video. We need stills. We need to have information about cars, everything that we could identify them with. Because if the government is not going to, let's say, charge them for committing crimes and offenses against the Jewish community, and there's a long list, you have quite the history, their places of employment have to be contacted with accurate information, who this person is, what they said, the incitement and the hate. So that's essential. That information has to be collected, and facial recognition technology to match them at various events, that could be done. So it has to be done. Go ahead. What else? Oh, go ahead.
Well, one of the advantages we have right now at this particular time is Melissa Huntsman. These are her constituents in Thornhill,
Right?
and especially at Mudgate. Is she involved? Is she, aware of what's happening? And how? And if so, or if not, how can we bring her into the fold?
Well, listen, I'm on friendly terms with her, but I haven't seen enough from her. And frankly, I mean, I'm just being honest, because when it comes to, for instance, Samadon, when they had their conference in Ottawa, and it was clear support for terrorism, and we have sent letters and petitions and a lot, it made noise, asking for the government to list Samadon, like Israel has listed them, as a terrorist organization. I would like to see her bring it up in Parliament, and she hasn't so far. So, we got to get that done. We need that. I haven't heard it yet. The attorney, is he the Solicitor General or the Attorney General? He's from our community. I haven't seen action on that front either. So, I mean, that's why I'm saying it's essential for the community to realize that, don't rely on them. We have to, and if they happen to take steps, great.
I mean,
Mhm.
when they come to the plaza,
Yep.
That's private property.
Right.
The owner of the plaza, if you put a trespassing, something, I mean, they're not allowed to.
Yeah, it's my understanding that there's been a trespass notice there and that they were told and then they left. They didn't stay that long the last time. So, but so far they're not, you know, they just get away with it. Yeah.
The problem is, and has really always been, your average Jew is just going to listen to what the establishment Jewish organizations say.
Yep.
And what they say is, don't do anything, leave it to us, the police are on it, just trust the police, and that's it. And that's how it's been forever.
Yeah.
And even though things are heating up and the anti-Semitism gets worse and the BDS gets more bold and comes right into our neighborhoods.
Yep.
Do you see anybody standing up from within the community? Not really. But there's no one.
No, not really. But you know what? Most of them are into, look, we're having the meeting tonight and, your rank and file, I think, are more preoccupied with the NHL playoffs going on right now. So, and if we had the meeting tomorrow night, I mean, that's game 2 for the Leafs. Who knows who's gonna? But nonetheless, it is a red flag to the Jewish community, the BDS, what they're doing, and that circulates, and people are very aggravated about it. Yes.
What about the rebel news that the huge crowd report revenues?
Rebel News?
Yeah.
So what's the question?
What about telling her about it? She could be there at 5. She could arrange for.
Yeah, that's fine. Listen, coverage is fine. There's not going to be a problem getting coverage for the event. We're not talking about coverage. We're talking about not letting the BDS get their way, which is to incite violence against the Jewish community, burn Israeli flags, intimidate Jews.
About the police, they don't do anything. What is it your experience?
They used to. Now they're, they used to. Now they're, well, they're just not. They're not. You know, like 2 years ago, May 15th, you know, they arrested some people there for violence and throwing rocks and a lot of stuff. And I don't believe the charges, I think they just dropped them all. So, and the evidence is there. And the police, in fact, first made a statement and had some photos of some of the people and said they're looking for them and serious charges and not much. So, you know, the community has to realize that. So, and why is that? Well, I'm not sure what the why is, but we can't put up with that and we have to be proactive. Yep.
How far is the police going to allow them, if it's the JCC at Bathurst and Shepherd, it's quite inside their property. So wouldn't the sidewalk on Bathurst Street be as far as they go?
Yeah, if they want to block the entrance, that's what they want to do.
And you think the police will let them do?
Yeah, I think the police will turn a blind eye, and I'm making that public. So we want to let everyone know that we're going to make sure that the community is ready for that and is not going to tolerate that, and we're going to act as if the police are just going to allow that to happen. What I would like to see is a force of police there to push the BDS across the road so they don't interfere with the Jewish community going in and out of the JCC. I'd like to see quite a force of police there with cars and horses and just a big force there that makes sure 100% that they're not coming near. But because we know the police is not going to do that, that's why we're calling on the community to take action.
Why have you been in touch with the police? Did they actually say that? Or
I know what, just previous experience, previous experience. Yeah. Yeah.
They were good at the Princess Gates, you know, a few years ago.
That's quite a few years. You know what? If you, how many years actually is that ago? That's quite a, yeah, right. Different day today.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, maybe it's a COVID thing. So they're not the same, but whatever it is, but it is something.
Yeah. And they kept that other religious group on the other side, natural, that group.
The Terry cartel. Well, yeah, those guys that are on the payroll of Iran. Yeah, yeah. Mindless zombies that hate us. Yeah.
Maybe we should follow what time this, where.
Yeah, we'll get to that another time. We're just building right now. This is the first meeting right now about that. So we still have almost 3 weeks. Almost 3 weeks. What's that?
I don't know if you want to publicize those.
Oh, in terms of time, when to meet? Yeah, that's something we could discuss. That's something we could discuss. Yeah, but we have to be ready for it. Yep, 100%.
Is there going to be any kind of surveillance, a little bit extra or something in terms of the fact that they come right into the Public Plaza?
Yeah.
And harass shoppers going about their day, just because it was Yom Ha'atzmaut. It's just vile.
Yeah.
And, how do they get away with that? I don't.
Right. Well, they did. They did. Well, look, we're focused on the walk right now. So, I mean, obviously there's got to be people coming earlier and unmarked vehicles or wherever they're going to be. And they don't look like they're in with the crowd and filming, who's supposed to be filmed. That's it. Yeah, 100%. Yes.
We should probably ask a lot of people to come to record it.
Yeah.
Phone,
Yeah,
put your pocket.
absolutely.
Record it. They start throwing things.
Yeah, they have to be completely identified.
And a lot of people should know that last year, well, Buddy and his friends.
Yeah.
Went to Bath and Shepherd.
Yep.
And there were a few girls, 2 girls.
Yeah.
Starbucks. These guys stopped it. But we let them know. So bang on the windows, next thing on the girls.
At Bathurst and Shepherd Plaza.
So it's not over.
Yeah,
So
right.
remember years prior to that.
Yep.
The cops let them walk right now.
Yep. I do. I remember that. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So listen, there's a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do. We got 3 weeks to work on it. Any more questions, or we'll wrap it up? Or we'll talk informally. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.